Hello everyone, it's me again. I'm still in this room and I'm still thinking a lot about language. So today I thought it would be fun to talk about some forgotten English. This is a really cool deck of cards that has a bunch of forgotten or antiquated English words. And so I thought we'd talk about some of them today. I've got 16 cards to share today. If you like this video, please let me know in the comments. And I do have some more to do, but for now, these are my let's call them top 16. The first word is Igsnai, literally cute little pig's eye, which I guess is cute. And it's credited to Chaucer, who evidently also started the tradition of sending cards and such on Valentine's Day. The next word is, here we go, Gorgaze. And this is a fun one because I love etymology. And this word meant elegant or fashionable. But apparently also in the 15th century, a new type of headdress was invented, which was named after this, called a gorgias. And gorgias was so popular and so fashionable that the term for gorgias ended up in our modern English today as the word gorgeous. The next word is quacksalver. This is just a hilarious word to say. This is a charlatan or fraud, someone who is selling your wares to people. This was very common in the 13th century. It survives today in just the first half of the word as a quack. Okay, here's the next word. This word is Boanthropy. And some fantasy fans might think this sounds really familiar. It's very similar to lycanthropy, but boanthropy, instead of a wolf man, is a cow man. Boanthropy is a form of insanity from the 19th century where someone imagines himself to be a cow. And apparently this diagnosis goes as far back at least as the Bible, because in the book of Daniel, King Nebuchadnezzar suffers from boanthropy. Okay, the next word is Sandman. Sandman is Middle English for messenger. It's the one who was sent. So this is essentially what you would have before a modern postal service. But the concept also survives in the name Sandman, which is, in some sense, a messenger of sleep. So someone who is sent to you to bring you to sleep. Also a very good series of graphic novels. Okay, the next word is inkhornism. An inkhornism was a literary composition that was considered to be of low quality. You could say that it was overworked. An inkhornism would be something that'd be made by someone who's a bit of a hack writer, or as they were known in the Middle Ages, a candle waster, because they'd be writing late at night and it was just a waste of the candle. Okay, the next word is vampirarchy, and that is a particularly good word in 2024 because it doesn't actually refer to vampires. What it refers to is a group of politicians, specifically a parasitic group of politicians, but I think most of us can agree that that's, most of them. Okay, the next word is gimlet-eyed. Now, gimlet-eyed is an adjective meaning that someone is sharp and inquisitive, and it comes from a gimlet, which is a tool that is used to make holes in things. So like a gimlet would pierce something, a gimlet-eyed person would be able to pierce through deception or things like that. Okay, this next one's pretty fun. It is Bibulus. Bibulus as a word means absorbent, like a sponge, but it also was used later to describe an alcoholic. And it comes from the same root word as imbibe. So you get bibulus, imbibe, and it's also where we get the term bib, what babies wear. But hopefully any person who's watching this who has a baby, you're not actually giving them alcohol. This is a famous one. Scaramouche. You probably know this from a certain famous song by a certain famous rock group. But the idea is a Scaramouche is someone who's simultaneously lazy and a coward. This was based on a character from Italian comedy who was often beaten because he was such a rascal or he was causing trouble. But that idea of a quick battle actually later lends itself to the word skirmish. And even later than that, the words scrimmage and scrummage, depending on if you play rugby or American football. Okay, the next word is Ezel. And this was a word that was taken from Dutch, which originally referred to any sort of beast of burden, something like a donkey or a mule, and later on was used to describe a tripedal wooden thing that painters would use, which is, of course, an easel. Okay, just a few more left. The next word is frigorific, which I know looks sort of like a dirty word, but it actually comes from the same sort of word as fridge. It means something that produces cold or cooling. So you might be able to say that every fridge is frigorific, although that sounds a little bit redundant now that I say it out loud. Okay, the next word is Gleed. This word refers to an ember or glowing coal, and it's actually related to the word glow, along with a whole bunch of other words that start with GL. Now, on my first YouTube channel, which was called Etymologized, I did a whole video on the relationship between gleam, glint, glimmer, glow, all these words that start with GL, which relate ultimately to light or fire. Chaucer used the word gleed to refer to a specific shade of red, but in the 1600s it took on the meaning of the color of shafts of sunlight. Later on, gleed was used to describe a fire that nail makers would use to melt their iron, and gleed-eyed referred to someone who squinted either with one or both eyes. The next word is besom. A besom came from the Anglo-Saxon word besima, meaning a bundle of sticks, but a besom by itself was a bundle of sticks attached to a bigger stick, what we would now call a broom or a broomstick. A besom was important because in medieval times, if a couple wanted to be married, all they needed to do was put a besom over their door stoop and jump over it. And this tradition survives in the idea of carrying a bride over the threshold today. Okay, two left. Next word is forswunke. This is a really good one because it means exhausted from physical exertion. Normally housework, but it could mean other things too. So today I'm actually pretty forswunke myself. It comes from the present tense word forswunke, and that ink-unk relationship is why to this day sometimes people will joke who'da thunk when they're talking about thinking in the past tense. Last but not least, the word is flitterwochen. If you're thinking it sounds really Germanic, you'd be correct. It's an Old English word, and it literally means the weeks that fly by, but it actually is the equivalent of a modern honeymoon. I think this is pretty sweet. You know, time flies when you're having fun, and theoretically, your honeymoon for those couple of weeks, time goes by very quickly indeed. That's it for today. I hope you all enjoyed and hope you all learned something. If you have any feedback or if you want to learn more of the old words that are in the deck over there, please leave a comment below. And thank you to all my YouTube channel members and Patreon supporters. If you want to join them on the Wall of Awesome and help make more videos happen and do Q&As and some other member benefits that are going to be coming soon. Yeah, links in the description, and bye. See you next time.